We don't have any other branch. हमारी कोई अन्य शाखा नहीं है, नकालों से सावधान.
Hello everyone. Today I am going to give you some phrases that you can use in your daily conversation. Are you bored of using words like sorry, thank you, you're welcome? So these are the verbatim that we have been uses for the last so many years. They are, according to the time, there have been few updations, and because of these updations we have new words which will help you to speak like a native speaker and improve your communication skills. So let's start. So the topic for today is common English phrases to use in conversation. Now, as I said, always said that you have to remember the words, the sentences in blocks rather than translating from Hindi to English. So we tend to make errors when we translate sentences or words from Hindi to English. So today I am going to give you sentences as it is in chunks so that you can remember them in chunks, use it as and when required. Now the first topic that I am going to take today is how to ask someone to repeat something. Now just imagine you are sitting in an interview and you are neatly dressed, your hair is well done and you are full of confidence. You enter and sit in front of the interviewer and you are answering to the questions that he is giving you. All of a sudden the interviewer asks you a question which you don't understand, right? So how will you respond? You'll just be quiet for some time and then the only thing which will come out of from your mouth is what? So do you think it's going to give you a right impression? Not at all. Because you are well dressed, you are well maintained, you are being expected to behave in a certain way in an interview or in your social relations. So how to respond instead of asking someone to repeat something? We are going to study that. That's the first topic for today. Now when you want to ask someone to repeat something, this is the oldest technique that we have been using, like pardon. For example, if you don't understand something, just say pardon. That is enough. But if you want to be more humble, if you sound more humble, more polite, you can use this full version, the full sentence. I beg your pardon. Right? So I beg your pardon. Whenever you say something, you should take care of your tone also, right? So I'll tell you how does the tone matters when you speak something in an incorrect tone. When you come to the second sentence which says sorry, so if somebody asks you, can you tell me where is Big Bazaar? So you can say sorry or sorry, could you repeat that please? But while saying sorry, you have to take care of your tone also. If you are using an incorrect tone, it will make a different impression on the other person, or it changes the meaning of the complete sentence completely. For example, if I say, can you pick that up please for me, and then you answer saying sorry. So look at this, the tone also, when the tone differs, the meaning of the word also changes, right? So when you have to be more polite, you have to lower down your volume, like sorry or sorry, could you repeat that please? Now the third sentence is sorry, I didn't quite catch that. So in order to be more humble, you can see that I have added sorry to everything. Sorry, sorry, sorry. So sorry, I didn't quite catch that, which means that I did not understand what you said just now. Can you repeat it please? So sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Or even if you remove this, sorry, I didn't catch that, even that is sufficient. Now the last sentence is sorry, could you please speak slower or louder please? Now this happens when you are speaking on the phone. If you are on the phone, or else if you are not able to understand what the other person is speaking, or you did not understand the other person just now, what did he say? So you can just ask the other person to speak a bit louder. For that you can use this last phrase, sorry, could you please speak a bit slower, or sorry, could you please speak a bit louder, depending on the situation. And this does not only go when you speak on the call. If you are speaking to someone face to face, and you want the other person to speak a bit louder or slower because that person is speaking very fast, you can use this sentence. Sorry, could you please speak a bit slower or louder? Alright. Now, let's move on to the second topic. The second topic which I am going to take today is phrases to ask and respond to someone how someone is. Now, how are you? As I have said, this is an old technique. This is the old verbatim which we have been using. How are you? Sometimes sound very boring. So, there are some other words which you can use, but you have to make sure with whom are you using these sentences, because most of them are for informal conversations, right. So, again, what's up? This is the common factor which you have been, this is the common sentence which we have been hearing these days. What's up? What's up? Then, how's life? How's life? Again, how is it going? How is it going? Or instead of that, you also add or use how are things at your end? How are the things going? Alright. Next is how is everything? Right. Then the other, this one I have already said, how are things? Again, what's new? What's new? Alright. So, what's new is going on in your life? Do you have something new to tell me? So, these are the new verbatim that we can practice. How's life treating you? So, how's life treating you? How's life treating you during these days of COVID-19? Got it? Now, with this, again, we have here, I've told you, we have heard so many times people using this, what's up, what's up, what's up. Now, how do you answer to this? Many of you or many of us are not aware of how to answer to this question. So, we are going to take how to respond to someone when we are being asked this question. So, these are the sentences which you can use. The first one is the common one, I'm fine, thank you, how are you? So, just make sure that if somebody asks you, how are you? And you respond to the other person, fine. This is the way you respond to the other person. But if you want to be more humble, more polite, you can say by saying, I'm fine, thanks, how are you? So, you can ask the question other person back, how are they, or how is he or she? Alright, this sounds more polite now. Now, the next one is pretty good. How are you? I'm pretty good. What's up? Pretty good. How's life? Pretty good. How's everything? Pretty good. Now, the next thing, not so good really. If you think that something is not fine with you or life is okay. So, then you can respond by saying not so good really. Then if you again think if nothing is, if some things are not going fine with you and you want to use another word for it or another sentence for it, you could say could be better. Whatever I am going through right now, things could have been better. So, there are few things which are not going fine with me. So, it could be better. Then not too bad, this is also used when something is okay with you, like not too bad. How are you? Not too bad. How are things? Not too bad. So, these are the kind of sentences that you can use. Now, as I have already told you, you should remember when you have to use this formally and informally. You cannot go to an interview and if the interviewer asks you, okay, how are you today? So, you can say, okay, I'm fine, what's up? Or I'm fine, how's life? So, make sure, choose the sentences very carefully according to the situations. Do not just use it informal sentences to the formal places. Got it? Now, we will move on to the next slide in which I am going to tell you different phrases how to say thank you. Okay, so let's move on. So when to say thank you, now thank you, it sounds so boring every time someone is repeating thank you or we are getting to hear lots of thank yous. So how do you say thank you in different ways? The first one is I really appreciate it. So if someone gets you a gift, so instead of saying thank you, I really appreciate it. So it is this sentence is quite meaningful in itself, that you really appreciate for what the other person has done for you or what the other person has got for you. Second is you have been helpful. Now this phrase can be used if someone has helped you. Okay? If someone has helped you. Now remember, all these phrases are to be used according to the situation. Just don't say it just because you want to find different means to say thank you or find different means to say certain words. Now you've been helpful. For example, one of your friend has helped you in making a project, in making a school project or a college project. There, you need to thank the other person. So how can you thank? You cannot say this, I really appreciate. You can say this also, but to make it more meaningful, you can say, you have been helpful. Third one is, that's so kind of you. If somebody does a favor to you, somebody helps you, somebody gets some gift for you, you can also use these words, that's so kind of you. The fourth sentence is, you have been of great help. This is the sentence which I have also been using. Say if I face some kind of problem with my network provider, and I call the customer service and I find that the customer service they have provided me is superb, is excellent. So by the end of the call, in order to appreciate them, they have helped me in a great way. So I always say this, you have been of great help, which makes their day also. If you are helping someone, you need to acknowledge, or if somebody is helping you, you need to acknowledge the other person that you have liked what the other person has done for you. Okay, now let's move on to the phrases on how to respond to someone if someone says thank you. So this is the most common sentence which we hear, you're welcome. So we say this, always say this when somebody says thank you, you're welcome. Or if you want to be more polite, you can say you're most welcome. Next is no worries. Okay, so you can use this word, no worries. Okay, thank you so much for your help, no worries. That's all, and just move ahead. Then, my pleasure. Thanks for your help on my project. My pleasure, just move on. Then, anytime. Thanks for your help, anytime. You have been of great help, anytime. Alright? So, these are the ways to respond to someone who says thank you. Now, the next one is phrases to ask for information. Now when you ask for information, straight away, by saying straight away, okay, can you tell me this, or can you help me with this please? You can use phrases like, do you have any clue or idea? Do you have any idea where the market is? Do you have any clue how to complete this work? Right? Then the next one is, you wouldn't happen to know, would you? This one is slightly lengthy, so you wouldn't happen to know, or where is the market, would you? Next is, can anyone tell me, or could anyone tell me? So in this, I have already written here that you have to use this sentence when you are referring to a group of people. So can anyone? Anyone means one from the whole group. So you are asking, can anyone tell me how to turn on the computer? Can anyone tell me how to go for a movie? So these are the phrases that you can use when you are asking somebody for some information. Now, phrases to say I don't know. Now, if somebody asks you, can you please tell me where the market is? Would you say, I don't know, and just move on? That sounds so rude, right? So in order to respond to someone, when you want to tell someone, I don't know something, how will you say? Here, you can use sorry. Sorry, I have no idea. Sorry, I have no idea. See, it is good to use sorry in each and every sentence when you are not able to help someone. It is a really good practice of using sorry in front of someone who asks your help, but you are not able to provide them help. So, sorry, I have no idea. Then again, I'm sorry, I have no idea. Again, this was the contraction form. This is the expansion. I'm sorry, I have no idea. Right? And that too, the tone has to be a little softer. If you say, I'm sorry, I have no idea, then again, the little bit tone makes a difference. I have already been telling you. So you have to soften down your tone because you don't know. You're not able to help him or her. So that is why you're feeling bad about it. So sorry, I have no idea. Sorry, I have no idea. Sorry, I have no clue. Second is, I haven't got any clue. Sorry, I haven't got any clue. Third, sorry, I can't help you there. So if somebody says, can you tell me how to read the market? Sorry, I can't help you there because I don't know what to say. So I'm feeling bad that I'm not able to help you. That is why we use sorry. So these are the sentences used in order to ask for information and when you cannot help someone. Okay, now this is a very important slide. Please go through it because we are discussing about phrases for agreeing to something or someone. So when we are talking about agreeing, there are times in your life when you have to agree to someone. Let's talk about a common factor, which is a group discussion. In a group discussion, if you want to agree to someone, that time many people face this problem. Even my students also, they say how to agree to someone, how to disagree to someone, and you have to be more polite at the same time so that the other person doesn't feel bad, and you have to make an impression on the interviewing officer also. So the first word that we will be discussing in order to agreeing to something or someone is exactly. Now for your convenience, I have written this sentence on the board which will help you to understand how to use these words which are mentioned here. So the sentence goes like this: cutting down of trees is adversely affecting us. So cutting down of trees, deforestation, we are talking about it. So it is putting an adverse effects in our lives. So if you agree to someone, for example, you are sitting in a group discussion and you agree to this statement, you can just say exactly and add your points. For example, exactly, and we are not considering to grow more trees. We are not thinking about growing more trees. Now the second is absolutely. So if you fully agree to the other person, what the other person is saying, you can use the word just absolutely. Okay. So this is the phrase which you can use in a group discussion or in a discussion with someone. In general also, like if you want to talk to your friend and your friend is saying something to which you agree, you can also use these words like exactly, absolutely, which is self-defined, that you agree to each and every word that the other person is saying. Now third is that's so true. So if you relate these sentences with this sentence which I have written, you will be able to relate to it more clearly. So cutting down of trees is adversely affecting us. That's so true. And this is the common thing that we all should think about. Next is that's so right or you are so right. If you want to specifically tell the persons, if the people are sitting in the group and from the group one person makes this statement and you want to confirm that the other person is right, so you can specifically say you are so right or that's so right. Then again, this is the common thing which I have given here, I agree. So if you say agree, that means you are fully agreeing to what the other person is saying. The last one is I totally, fully and partially agree. Now these three things you have to be, you have to literally think when to use these sentences. Now when you talk about totally agree, I totally agree to what you say, which means you fully agree to this statement. I completely agree to what you say, that cutting down of trees is having an adverse effects on our society. But when we talk about partially agree, partially means to you somewhat agree to the other person, somewhat, not completely. So here partially means you do not completely agree to it. Now let's move on to the next slide. We have discussed in this slide how to agree to someone when you really feel that what the other person is saying, you agree to that. Now in the next slide we are going to discuss about how to disagree to someone. So it is being well said that it is easier to agree than to disagree. Do you agree with me? Because just imagine that you have a friend who's asked you to lend 1000 rupees and says that he'll be returning you next month. but that's the only 1000 rupees that you have. Now you cannot say no because he is one of your best friend. Now how can you disagree to that? So disagreeing to someone is more difficult than agreeing to someone. In a group discussion, now I am taking this factor of group discussion because I have designed this class in such a way that you can use these phrases in the group discussion. Now let's take over here this phrase. The phrase over here says, children behave properly when they are punished. Okay, so children behave properly when they are punished. So for example, this is the topic for your group discussion now. Now if somebody speaks on this, or you are given a chance to speak on it, you are initiating the topic and you don't feel that the children children behave properly when they are punished, you disagree to that. So you can use all these phrases, like for example, I am not so sure about that. So instead of saying I disagree or I do not agree, which sounds more rude, yes, so you can use all these phrases like I am not so sure about that because I have a different view, and then add your views. Now the second sentence is, that's not how I see it. So children behave properly when they are punished, that's not how I see it. In my perception, things should be like this. Now the third sentence is, the way I see it. Instead of saying that I do not agree to this or I am not so sure about that, you can straight away give your point saying that the way I see it is, children behave properly when they are rewarded. The next topic is not necessarily. So the next sentence is not necessarily. So when we talk about disagreeing, so you can say not necessarily, which in any case means that you do not agree to what the other person is saying. So not necessarily. In my opinion, children need some kind of emotional support. So punishment or punishing the children is not a good idea. The second last is I don't think so. So I don't think so. This you can use in your daily conversation also, like what? Like let's plan a party next week. I don't think so. I might be busy in a meeting. So these are the things you can use to disagree. The last one which says that I am afraid, I don't agree. I am afraid here doesn't literally means that you are scared of something, alright, because I am afraid in itself is self-explanatory that you are scared of something, you are afraid of something. So I am afraid means I am not able to, I am really afraid, which means that I do not agree to what you are saying. So you can use all these phrases over here in order to disagree to someone. So let's do a quick recap. Over here we have discussed today few phrases on how to thank someone, how to ask someone to repeat something, and how to agree to someone or disagree to someone. So I am sure if you practice this on daily basis, you will become a very good communicator one day. With that, I end this session now. Have a good day.
Kindly subscribe D-Day YouTube channel and don't forget to press bell icon.